With patch 1.14, a lot of champions got tweaked, as well as some other cards as well. Most of the changes won't actually affect the meta drastically, but the Ezreal change seems to be a huge buff and a much more interesting design. So Moba Analytics recently featured some S tier decks from patch 1.14, featuring discard aggro, pirate aggro and scouts. Personally, I think I've covered these decks to bits in previous videos, so I wanted to look at some other S tier decks that are flying under the radar a bit more at the moment. So this is S tier decks patch 1.14. Please remember to like and subscribe and turn on the bell notifications too. So let's dive in. This video has been done in collaboration with Bomber TV. This is Kalista Elise, which is a very interesting deck indeed. It's basically a mono Shadow Isles deck featuring 3 copies of Pale Cascade from Targon, as a reflective aggro mana cost with all cards except 2 copies of the Harrowing costing 4 or less mana. There's almost a 50-50 split of followers and spells. We go almost full mono Shadow Isles so we can activate Wraithcaller more consistently. Wraithcaller summons a Miswraith when summoned with Legions, meaning the effect only activates when the top card on your deck shares the same region. As Miswraith is the key card in this deck, we're also going to be running Horizon Mists. This is a burst spell which instantly summons a Miswraith. This is fantastic and actually be activated in combat to quickly summon another Miswraith. When a Miswraith is summoned, copies of the card everywhere gain 1 damage, so this burst spell can also be used to catch your opponent off guard by buffing your followers already on the field, or namely Miswraiths. Don't worry too much about units dying, as they'll be in your finisher pool, which is the Harrowing. More often than not, you'll probably want to keep it in your opening hand if you already have a smooth curve. Elise will sometimes level up, but it's also pretty rare, as we don't run much spider synergy, as we're not using Noxus, so she's basically there to be a very good 2-drop. You could effectively replace her with any other Shadow Isles 2-drop. Kalista on the other hand would be much better to level up, then she can die, so we don't care about her death, as when she's summoned attacking when you cast a Harrowing, which is pretty valuable. But more importantly, this can summon a Wraithcaller, which may have already died, which will in turn resurrect it, and this will also summon a Miswraith in turn. So talk about value, a nice little flow here. There's also some great Shadow Isles support in the form of Glimpse Beyond and Stalking Shadows. The latter in particular is very good to start off your chain of Wraithcallers, or to finish off your Doom Beast to go for the lethal. Overall, this is a very solid aggro strategy, and this whole deck is a very good finisher output potential, so a really good fun deck I highly recommend. So this is Go Hard Shadow Isles Bilgwater featuring Elise and Twisted Fate. It's pretty much a combo deck. When control decks start to become a bit more dominant, they serve as a counter to those slow strategies, as they leave you with enough time to go for your combo. This is where this deck falls in. It has a low average mana cost, with all but 3 cards costing 4 or less mana, and it's actually quite an expensive deck with 6 exotics and 6 champions. So this deck is a pretty unique concept featuring the new KDR card, Go Hard. It's a slow spell that drains 1 from a unit and shuffles 2 identical copies into the deck. Once cast 3 times, it transforms into the very OP Pack Your Bags, which I'll discuss later on. The aim of the deck is to play your standard control Shadow Isles playstyle, or focus on the Go Hard card mechanic. You'll want to keep drawing cards to get to your magic 3 as quickly as possible through Twisted Fate's blue card, or Bilgwater draw cards like Salvage. From that simple idea, the deck basically builds on itself. You have control tools from Shadow Isles like Vengeance and Go Hard itself. So use Vengeance to take out key units, and Go Hard to drain your opponents in excess 3 times each time you activate, before doing the big combo piece, Pack Your Bags, which deals 5 to all enemies and the opposing Nexus, before turning back all other copies of the card into Go Hard once again for the cycle to repeat. This deck has a lot of draw tools from Bilgwater, like Pool Shark and Salvage. You're not aiming to go deep with this deck, so ignore the fact that Salvage tosses 2 cards, you're just focusing on the draws here to get the Go Hards. The rest of the cards are mostly there for curve purposes. your main plan is to either level up Twisted Fate or go to the Go Hard Going plan. Definitely a fun deck and quite a successful one too. Ezreal Swain is something new that we're trying, so this is the exact death list and win rate that Bomber TV has with this deck. The general statistics are still analysed by Bomber TV, but he still believes this archetype should be the top despite his personal success with the archetype. So this is a bit of a Legends of Runeterra deck exclusive review for you that you probably won't see anywhere else, for a bit at least, until everyone else finds out about it. With that said, the insane buff to Ezreal made this deck in particular shine, as Ezreal was coming onto C much earlier, and this means you have access to more Nexus damage triggers for Swain to stun the whole board. So this makes a deck which was never really that bad at all become even more relevant in this meta. As for the deck analysis, this deck functionally behaves like Swain Twisted Fate, but it's obviously got different region in the form of Piltover and Zorn, so this means it has access to much meta burn tools which will obviously deal non-combat damage, so like Static Shock and Get Excited for example. This deck is mainly consisting of spells, as you want to remove your opponent's units, playing them with basically using fast spells to take them out and punish them for attacking. So if they develop instead, you can punish them for wide blockers such as House Spider and Arachnoid Sentry, stunning a threat or adding a blocker to the board to basically stall the game as long as you need. Then to finish off, slap on a Leviathan, Swain and or Ezreal onto the board, and the win should come very soon after this. So it's definitely a great deck and Bomber TV personal recommendation. The data presented here is analysed by Bomber TV using Moba analytics. He's a Masters tier player with a background in game theory and game design. He took the most winning archetypes into Master tier, excluding ones with small play rates, analysed their key properties on why they are so strong. Link to his channel is in a pinned comment and in the card above. What deck are you having the most luck with so far in patch 1.14? I would love to hear in the comments. Up next is Top 10 Decks patch 1.15, taking a look at a wide range of decks having success in the next patch. So this will be in response to the balance changes in the upcoming patch we're expecting to see next Tuesday and to be implemented on the following Wednesday. Please remember to like and subscribe and turn on bell notifications too. See you next time guys.